across land, water, rock, air, and shadow. Birds live on the edge of control. Some survive by moving as many. Others survive by disappearing, then striking once. These moments aren't about beauty. They're about timing, loss, and choice. What happens when a body commits with no reset? This is BBTV Official, and in Part 3, every move answers one question. How much are you willing to lose to stay alive? They are not removed for a bad step. They are removed because they tire first. On dry ground, two demoiselle cranes step into open space and begin to jump. There is no cover, no tall grass, no place to break the line of sight. Each lift pulls strength from the legs. Each landing drags the breath longer. Nothing here hides effort. The land stays flat and empty, and the body has nowhere to rest. The dance does not rush toward a peak. It stretches on. Jumps repeat. Turns repeat. Wings open again and again. Time becomes the pressure. As minutes pass, heat builds. Muscles tighten, and recovery never arrives. What matters is not how high they jump once, but how long they can keep jumping without slowing. The movements are simple. High lift, turn, land, open wings, close them. The test is not skill, but holding the same output as the body drains. When fatigue grows, it shows fast. Jumps lose height. Turns come late. The pause between steps widens. Reflex lags by a fraction, and that fraction becomes visible. In harsh land with little food, choosing a weak partner is costly. Parents must walk far, guard long, and feed without reserve. This dance forces weakness to surface early, before eggs are laid, before chicks depend on bodies that cannot last. The system filters by endurance, not mistake. Those who slow first are removed quietly, without error. When stamina decides who falls away, another bird chooses a different gamble. Not endurance, but speed. A small bird is easy to catch. It has little mass, short reach, and no defense if it is alone. But when thousands appear at once, control breaks down. A predator sees movement everywhere, wings crossing, shadows overlapping, and the chance to lock onto one target drops fast. Speed stops helping, vision overloads, and each dive risks a miss that wastes energy and time. Along riverbanks, the sand walls fill with life. Hundreds, then thousands of nest holes open side by side, packed so close that there is no clear edge. Birds rush in and out all day, crossing paths, changing height, cutting lines. Any hunter that comes near faces constant motion. No pause, no single nest left exposed long enough to attack without pressure. Nesting as a group spreads danger outward. A predator cannot focus on one hole when wings flash past its face every second. When the flock hunts, the same rule applies. Many birds launch together, sweep the air at high speed, and take insects before a hunter can set timing. Each extra bird adds noise, blocks sight, and steals control from anything trying to track them. Not every nest lasts. Some fail early, some are taken. Some never reach the end. But loss is absorbed across the group. Numbers turn damage into something smaller. Even when predators succeed, the result changes little. Enough young still grow, still leave, still replace what was lost. Instead of relying on numbers, some birds choose another way. They survive by breaking the ground itself to reach food others cannot. Each strike is a signal. I am here. The green woodpecker grips a tree or drops to the ground and begins to hammer. The sound carries far. The rhythm stays steady. While the beak moves, the body does not. There is no cover and no motion to blur the outline. Every udar fixes the bird in place longer than it can afford. Striking is the only way in. Ant nests sit sealed under hard soil or wood, unreachable without force. The beak opens the path, but it also sends a clear location outward. Each hit marks position with sound more exact than sight. Anyone listening knows where the body is and how long it has been there. This trade is unavoidable. To reach food that others cannot, the bird accepts exposure that others avoid. Feeding takes time. Time stretches risk. Muscles work, breath shortens, and the body stays locked to one spot, while the sound repeats again and again. The system allows access through noise. In return, it demands patience under threat. The woodpecker eats well, but it eats while being seen and heard longer than almost any other bird. Advantage comes only by accepting that cost every day. When sound gives away position, another species sends its signal differently, not alone, but inside a crowd, where vision fails and numbers take over. Here, slowing down is not safe. Slowing down means falling. Two western grebes rush up onto the surface and begin to run. There is no shore, no solid edge, no place to lean into. Only speed keeps the body upright. The moment they rise, balance depends on motion alone. The water does not hold them. It pushes back against every step. Their feet strike the surface again and again, fast and hard, creating lift. speed is not required. One beat off, and failure is complete. Two great crested grebes rise upright from the water. Their bodies lift together. Water plants hang from their bills. The surface stays calm, but the space is open and exposed. They repeat the same short movements again and again. No bird leads, no bird waits. Each action arrives only if the other matches it exactly. Every movement is a signal. A turn of the head, a lift of the chest, a step forward on the water. The reply must come before thought steps in. If one bird answers late, the rhythm breaks. The sequence collapses at once. There is no chance to speed up and fix it, because speed is not the point here. This works because timing replaces force. The birds read each other without pause. Reflex moves before choice. When timing holds, the bodies stay aligned. When it slips by even a moment, balance and trust drop together. A single delay exposes doubt, and doubt ends the display. Raising young on open water demands the same precision. Feeding, guarding, and moving chicks all depend on shared timing under stress. This ritual removes pairs that cannot stay locked together. It does not punish weakness in strength, but weakness in coordination. When timing decides everything, some birds take a different path, using movement not to match a partner, but to claim power in full view. This dance is not only to be chosen, it is used to hold ground. The crowned crane jumps high, turns, opens its wings, and lifts the gold crown into full view. The space around it stays open. There is no cover, no crowd to blend into. Every eye locks onto the movement. Once the display starts, the body stays exposed, standing tall, where retreat would mean loss of place. Holding height costs energy fast. The crane must keep its posture high, repeat the jumps, and keep the wings active without pause. There is no single peak to reach. The pressure comes from duration. As strength drops, the change shows immediately. The body lowers. The jumps shorten. The crown sinks. Control breaks in public. This is not about skill. It is about staying upright longer than others under the same strain. In crowded ground, position matters. Birds that lose height lose space. Once pushed to the edge, they are ignored, blocked, or replaced without contact. The dance settles rank before conflict can begin. Movement replaces fighting. Energy replaces claws. The bird that can hold posture longest keeps its place. Those that cannot fade out early, before territory and breeding, turn into constant loss. When movement becomes a claim of power, some birds expose themselves in another way. Not through motion, but through sound that travels far beyond the body. It flies in darkness, without needing to see the water. Vision drops away, and the body commits before the surface can be read. Once the skimmer locks its height, there is no checking below, no last look, no chance to hesitate. The bird skims low across the water, holding one fixed line, not higher, not lower. The long lower bill cuts straight into the surface as it passes. There is no test run. There is no adjustment. If the water rises by an inch, or a hard object breaks the surface at the wrong second, the flight ends right there. The lower bill is long and flat. The neck snaps back fast when it hits something solid, easing the udar. But reflex is not a brake. At this speed, small error outruns correction. Once the bill touches water, the decision is already locked. This method opens fish that few others can reach, especially in low light. The skimmer does not need sight, only the right height. The trade is absolute. Every hunt is a move that cannot be pulled back. There is no way to lower risk once the flight begins. When one bird wagers survival on every pass through darkness, another path appears. Not by cutting closer to danger, but by erasing it through numbers, where loss spreads thin and no single body pays the full cost. One bird is weak. 1 million become an event. When the flock gathers, the sky fills at once, and control slips away from anything trying to hunt. Vision floods with motion, depth collapses, and speed stops giving advantage. A predator sees too much, tracks nothing, and each attack risks wasted effort in open air. The birds lift together, millions moving as one mass. The shape stretches, bends, breaks, then seals again, blocking light and space. No edge stays still long enough to aim. Any hunter that commits to a strike meets sudden turns, shifting gaps, and bodies crossing its line at the last second. Each bird reacts only to a few neighbors nearby. That small rule scales fast. Tiny turns stack, small changes spread, and the whole cloud moves like a wave. What starts as local control becomes large disorder for anything outside the system. The flock gains safety. The hunter loses timing. Numbers overwhelm focus. No single bird stays visible long enough to be chosen. Targets vanish before a dive can finish, and every failed strike burns energy without return. Over time, the cost builds, effort rises, success drops, and the predator is pushed out by loss alone. From a sky erased by wings, the pressure shifts downward to sound and movement that rise from the ground instead. Before they fly, the ground already shakes. The snow goose gathers tight, bodies pressed close, breath and wings building pressure. Then the flock lifts at once. Sound explodes upward, calls overlap, wings hit air hard, and every quiet cue disappears. Vision floods with motion. A predator looking in sees too much at the same time, and choice collapses. Picking one bird means losing 10 others in the noise and rush. The takeoff is sudden and heavy. Many bodies rise together, filling space and blocking clean lines. That shock buys time, but it carries cost. Noise gives away position from far away. Mass slows turning. Once the lift begins, no single bird can stop or change course without falling behind. If a wing clips another or timing slips, there is no room to fix it on the ground. This is not attack. It is escape by overload. Sound and number erase selection, forcing hesitation where speed once mattered. Loss, if it comes, spreads thin across the group instead of landing on one body. The system works because effort is shared and danger is diluted, even as control becomes coarse and loud. When number protects life, another side of survival comes into view. where food, not flight, pulls bodies together, and the cost of staying is paid in filth, conflict, and exposure. One fish is fast, a school is faster, and that speed pulls the birds into danger the moment they commit. The Cape cormorant does not test the water or circle for a better angle. Once the dive begins, there is no pause, no safe check, only bodies dropping together, knowing that turning back costs more than pushing forward, and that hesitation breaks the group and exposes the bird that slows first. The entire flock hits the water at once, wings tight, necks straight, bodies cutting down in parallel lines. The fish react fast, but not fast enough. They fold inward, forced into a dense mass. Below the surface, light fades quickly, space shrinks, and the surface becomes harder to read. Every second underwater stretches the risk, because the birds cannot see where air waits above them. Each cormorant keeps its position, holding line and speed, refusing to drift wide or break formation. That discipline traps the fish, but it also traps the hunters. The tighter the school becomes, the less room the birds have to turn or correct. A small delay, a late stroke, or a wrong angle can push a bird deeper than planned, where control slips and strength drains faster than expected. Group hunting raises success, but it drains time and breath. Lungs empty, muscles tighten, and the body starts to count seconds without mercy. The need to surface grows stronger than the chase itself. If one bird rises early, the wall breaks. If it stays too long, the hunt can end with nothing gained and energy lost. When coordination becomes a weapon, nature pushes the cost higher, moving beyond bodies that work together, toward limits shaped by memory, timing, and error, where one bad choice underwater can end the hunt long before the fish escape. It does not fly, it slides, and that choice puts the body on display, close to eyes that judge every slip. The red-capped mannequin steps onto an open branch, exposed, with no cover and no lift. Speed becomes the only shield, because stopping or lifting off would end the test and leave the bird fully seen. The male moves in a strange way, feet flashing fast, while the body stays almost still. It looks like the bird is moving backward, even though it is not. The branch is narrow, the grip is small, and every step risks a fall. One missed beat sends the body out of balance, where there is no time to recover and no place to hide. Strong leg muscles and fast nerve signals allow sudden turns and instant stops. That control keeps the slide smooth, but it also pushes the body to its limit. The faster the feet move, the harder it is to correct a mistake. At high speed, the brain has less time to fix errors, and control can vanish in a blink. The visual effect breaks focus and confuses the eye, helping the male stand out in a crowded forest. But standing out brings pressure. The female does not watch for beauty alone. She watches for control. Any loss of rhythm, any shake or stumble ends the display and exposes weakness in full view. When speed bends vision and turns motion into risk, nature shifts again, toward birds that confuse not by speed, but by movements so strange they challenge the eye in a different way. When you look at it, your brain feels off. Something does not line up. The American woodcock stands in the open, small and round, with no speed and no clear defense. It does not rush, does not freeze, and does not hide well. That strange calm puts the body in view, where any wrong move can draw attention it cannot control. The bird walks in a way that looks wrong, head bobbing, body shaking, feet stepping out of sync. The motion feels loose, almost careless, as if the bird is late and does not mind being seen. But the ground is soft, the space is open, and every step sends movement through the soil. If the rhythm breaks, the body loses balance and the head loses its steady line. This odd walk sends small waves into the ground, pushing earthworms to move below the surface. At the same time, the head motion keeps the eyes stable, locked on the ground while the body moves around it. That control comes at a cost. The slower the walk, the longer the bird stays exposed, and the more time it gives danger to notice it. The woodcock is not built for clean pursuit. Its shape limits speed and reach, so it pays with time instead. The strange movement makes feeding possible, but it also makes the bird easy to spot. What looks funny carries risk, because there is no backup plan if the trick fails. It arrives when everything is already dead. The marabou stork does not follow the hunt or wait at a distance. It walks straight into the end of it. A carcass lies on open ground, heat rising, smell spreading, and bodies gathering fast. Hyenas pull, vultures crowd, dogs rush in, and the stork steps between them. Space is tight. There is no clean edge. To eat, it must stand close, stay still, and accept contact from all sides. Every second there increases risk. A shove can knock balance. A bite can land without warning. Disease sits on every surface. The bird feeds on rot, steals when possible, and pushes into any opening that appears. Its bare head and long neck let it reach deep into carcasses without fouling feathers, but they offer no protection from blows. Size helps force smaller birds aside, yet size also slows response. Turning takes time. Stepping back is hard. Once the stork commits to a feeding spot, escape routes shrink as more animals arrive and pressure builds. If a stronger rival holds ground, the stork must wait, exposed, burning time and strength with no food gained. By removing dead bodies, the stork keeps the system moving. Rot clears faster, disease spreads less, the land recovers, but the price is paid daily. Feeding means living inside conflict, filth, and constant threat. Survival here is not about speed or skill. It is about tolerance. The marabou survives by accepting the worst conditions again and again, trading comfort for access and safety for the chance to eat. No hiding, no cover, and that choice puts every male in full view with no escape. The sharp-tailed grouse steps onto open ground, knowing there is nowhere to retreat. Once the display starts, leaving means loss, staying means exposure, and every movement invites challenge from all sides. Males gather on the lek, jumping, wing beating, and calling in front of watching females. The ground is flat, sound carries far, and bodies collide in tight space. Energy drains fast. A wrong step, a late jump, or a weak call draws pressure from rivals and ends the chance in seconds. Each male fights for the center, because edges do not win. Holding position costs strength and balance. Only a few can keep it. Most are pushed aside, blocked or ignored, spending energy with nothing returned. The longer the display lasts, the heavier the loss for those who fall behind. Lek dancing forces breeding competition to its highest level. The system selects only the strongest performers, but it does so by burning effort from many bodies at once. Most males leave empty, tired, and exposed, carrying the cost of failure into the next day. Not every conflict needs to be seen. As the noise fades, nature shifts again, towards species that settle battles with sound alone, where presence is felt long before bodies appear. You do not need to appear. You only need to be loud enough. The horned screamer stays where it is and calls. The sound travels for miles, crossing water, trees, and open ground. It does not pulse or fade. It holds. Long before the body is seen, the space is already taken. Anything moving closer hears the claim first. The voice fills territory ahead of the bird itself. Sound arrives faster than wings ever could. But the trade is immediate. Every call fixes position with precision. The longer it continues, the clearer the location becomes. Silence would allow retreat. Strong lungs and a powerful voice let the screamer hold the signal without quick collapse. The body can repeat the call again and again, but effort stacks. Breath drains. Focus narrows. If the bird stops too soon, the claim weakens. If it goes too long, fatigue grows while escape would already be slow. This system avoids direct fights. Territory is kept through pressure, not contact. Most rivals turn away early, but the rule cuts both ways. If a stronger voice answers back, distance vanishes. The screamer has already revealed itself, and there is no quiet path left to leave unseen. When sound decides space, some birds choose a different gamble. Not volume, but memory, where survival depends on places remembered long after the call has faded. It does not fly, yet it still stands its ground, and that choice removes escape from the equation. The kagu faces danger without lift, without speed, and without distance. Once it commits, the body stays in place, fully visible, relying on one reaction to stop what comes next. The bird spreads its wings, lifts its feathers, and freezes. White powder coats the plumage, turning the body into a strange, sharp shape. There is no movement, no sound, no chase. If the pose fails to hold attention, there is no second step, only exposure at close range. The powder on the feathers keeps them dry and changes how the bird looks. The shape feels wrong to the eye, forcing hesitation. But hesitation is fragile. If the threat does not pause, the display loses value fast, and the bird has no force to back it up. In a land with few natural hunters, this trick often works. The system allows stillness to replace speed and confusion to replace strength. But that balance depends on limits staying in place. Once pressure rises, the margin disappears. When defense alone can no longer hold the line, nature does not soften. It hardens, pushing behavior toward aggression that breaks hesitation and replaces stillness with force. One slip is enough, and falling is final. The rock jumper moves where there is no margin, no flat ground, no soft landing. Each step commits the body to height and exposure, because turning back costs balance, and stopping is not an option once motion begins. The bird runs across steep rock faces, jumping from one narrow hold to the next, as if gravity does not apply. The gaps are small, the angles sharp, and the surface offers little grip. A late jump or a weak push sends the body down, where there is no chance to recover control in time. Strong legs, tight claws, and fast reflexes keep the bird upright on slick stone. That control works only while speed and timing stay exact. The faster it moves, the less time there is to fix error. One misread edge or loose pebble breaks the rhythm and pulls the body out of line. Living on near vertical ground keeps rivals and hunters away. Few animals can follow, fewer can wait there. But safety comes at a cost. Every move demands full focus. Energy drains into balance, not growth. And one tired moment can undo every advantage earned by height. When movement reaches its edge, nature does not slow. It shifts direction, away from balance and into direct force, where survival is decided not by footing, but by impact. It does not kill fast, and that delay pulls the fight into the open. The Seriema holds its prey on the ground, fully exposed, with no cover and no quick end. Every second the struggle lasts increases the chance of injury, escape, or interference from something stronger drawn by movement. The bird grabs its target and slams it again and again into hard earth until the body stops moving. The action is loud, rough, and long. Each strike demands space and balance. If the grip slips or the prey twists free, the Seriema must reset, lifting and striking again while control drains away. A long neck and strong legs turn height into force. The bird uses weight and motion instead of precision. That works on snakes and tough prey, but it costs time and energy. Repeated blows shake the body, strain the neck, and leave no room for error once fatigue sets in. Without powerful talons to end the fight cleanly, the Seriema turns the ground into a weapon. The method is effective, but unforgiving. The prey must hit right every time. One bad angle turns force into chaos, and chaos favors anything waiting nearby. From the ground, the next action shifts away, lifting into air and water, where speed replaces impact and the margin for failure grows thinner. One beat too slow, and the food is gone. The sandpiper stays at the edge where water takes and gives back in seconds. There is no pause and no safe spot. Standing still means nothing moves. Moving late means the wave closes over the ground and wipes the chance away. The bird runs tight along the surf line, feet fast, head low, stabbing the sand at the exact moment the water pulls back. The window is brief. A new wave forms behind it. If the bird stays one step too long, water rushes in and forces retreat with nothing gained. This works because the sandpiper reads the rhythm of waves and reacts almost without delay. Eyes track flow, legs answer instantly. But speed cuts both ways. The faster the move, the smaller the margin to correct. A wrong read sends the bill into empty sand or traps the bird in rising water. Precision lets the bird use food that exists for only a few seconds at a time. The system rewards timing, not strength. But timing fails without warning. Wind shifts, waves stack, and patterns break. When rhythm changes, the bird pays with missed strikes and wasted runs. When every movement must be counted and measured, nature shifts one last time toward a species that spends all its energy at once, betting survival on a single display with nothing held back. It does not hunt. It forces food to fall. And that choice pulls the skua into open sky where mistakes cannot hide. The bird commits to a chase with no ground below, no cover, and no quick exit. Speed becomes pressure, but pressure also stretches control, because the faster it flies, the harder it is to stop or turn without losing balance. The skua locks onto another bird in midair and drives it hard. The chase tightens, wings beating fast, distance closing until panic breaks the victim. Fish spill out, but the moment is unstable. The skua must stay close, match every move, and avoid collision, because one wrong angle can end the pursuit with empty air and wasted energy. Long wings and strong flight allow the skua to follow for a long time, but endurance has limits. Staying on target means burning fuel without a catch in hand. The longer the chase lasts, the more control slips, vision narrows, and timing starts to fail. If the victim holds on longer than expected, the skua pays the cost with nothing gained. Stealing food saves the work of a dive or a strike, especially over cold water where hunting is expensive. But it trades certainty for risk. There is no guarantee the fish will drop, no guarantee it will fall within reach, and no second chance once the chase breaks apart. Some birds choose theft by choice, others by need. And beyond this point, nature pushes the line further into lives where stealing is not a tactic, but the only way to stay alive. If it falls into the water, it can die, and that risk shapes every second it stays in the air. The frigate bird commits to flight with no safe landing below, no pause, no rest. Once it leaves land, gravity becomes a threat, because touching the sea is not recovery, it is failure. For hours, the bird stays aloft, riding wind and heat, following other seabirds from above. It waits, watches, and presses closer until the moment opens. The theft happens in open air, with bodies crossing fast and no room to slow down. If timing slips, the chance is gone, and the bird must keep flying with nothing gained. Long wings and a light body allow long flight, but they remove options. The feathers do not shed water. Landing on the sea means soaking, sinking, and losing lift. The longer the bird stays airborne, the more fatigue builds, and the smaller the margin for error becomes with every wing beat. There is no backup plan. Stealing food is not a choice made for ease. It is the only path left open. The bird cannot dive, cannot float, and cannot wait. If prey does not drop, the body pays the cost in distance, time, and strength, with no guarantee of return. When survival pushes past the limits of the body itself, nature pulls the line tighter, revealing behaviors shaped not by preference, but by necessity, where one mistake in the air ends the hunt and the flight at the same time. From far away, it looks like a snake in the water, and that illusion removes the body, but not the risk. The Anhinga keeps almost everything hidden, trusting stillness to protect it. But staying low means giving up speed, and once committed, there is no fast escape if the moment breaks. The bird sinks its body under the surface, leaving only the long neck curved above the water. It moves slow, silent, closing the gap inch by inch. The strike must be exact. If the fish turns late, or the angle slips, the bird has no cover, no second rush, only empty water and lost time. Its feathers do not push water away. They pull it in, helping the body sink with little effort. That helps the ambush, but it adds weight fast. The long neck and quick reflexes give reach and speed in one sharp move. Yet the heavier the body becomes, the harder it is to rise when the attack fails. This method lets the Anhinga reach fish without waves or shadow, staying unseen until the last instant. The cost comes after. Wet feathers steal lift, slow flight, and force the bird back to land. Each hunt ends with wings spread wide, exposed, waiting for air and sun to give control back. As ambush works below the surface, the sky darkens above, opening space for a different kind of hunt, where danger no longer hides in water, but falls from above. No wing sound, no warning, and that silence removes the last chance to react. The great horned owl enters the night fully committed, flying low and unseen. Without noise, there is also no feedback. If the angle is wrong or the timing slips, there is nothing to correct the fall before impact. In darkness, the owl drops fast and strikes in one move, hitting prey that can be large and heavy. The moment is short and final. The body must land clean. A bad grip or a late hit means the prey fights back, and the owl is already too close to pull away. Soft wing feathers break the sound of air, letting the bird close distance without being heard. Strong talons end the struggle fast, but strength locks the owl into contact. Once the claws close, there is no safe release. If the target is stronger than expected, control can turn into risk. Perfect silence makes hunting work at night, where one small sound can end everything. But silence also hides mistakes. The owl cannot hear its own approach, cannot warn itself, and cannot slow down once the drop begins. Success depends on one clean second. Not every hunter relies on force. As darkness holds still, nature shifts again toward birds that store survival not in muscle, but in memory, planning, and choices made long before the strike. One seed forgotten, and a day ends in hunger. The Clark's nutcracker does not fight winter with strength or speed. It hides tens of thousands of pine seeds across mountain slopes, then leaves. Snow falls. Wind reshapes the land. Every mark is erased. When winter tightens, the bird returns alone, landing on slopes that look the same in every direction. A wrong turn costs time, and cold drains energy fast. There is no shelter here, only distance and silence. Memory replaces muscle, but memory carries risk. Each cache ties survival to a past choice that cannot be checked again. A small error in distance, a shifted tree line, deeper snow than expected. The search stretches, breath shortens, the body pays. There is no backup food waiting, no second store nearby, only more flying with less return. Strong spatial memory guides the bird using land shape, trees, and the position of the sun. But the system has no mercy. Miss one point, and nothing appears. Misses several, and strength fades before spring arrives. Some seeds are lost. Some places fail. Time never slows to allow correction. The strategy works because enough caches succeed, but every winter tests it again. When memory keeps a body alive, forgetting even once can be fatal. And where one bird bets everything on recall alone, another species turns to sound and numbers, using noise and crowding to hide what no single mind could afford to lose. It does not use only its beak, and that choice exposes time, focus, and error. The New Caledonian crow pauses instead of striking, staying visible while others move on. Every second spent thinking keeps the body still, open, and easier to notice if the plan breaks. The crow picks a branch, snaps it, bends it, then feeds it into a narrow crack. The space is tight, the grip is small, and the tool must fit exactly. If the angle is wrong, the branch jams or slips, and the insect stays hidden while the bird wastes effort and control. This works because the crow can picture the result before acting. It shapes the tool to the problem, not by habit, but by choice. That power carries cost. Planning slows action. A bad guess means starting over, and each reset burns time while the body remains exposed. Tools open food that others cannot reach, lowering competition and raising reward. But tools also fail. Wood breaks, shapes bend, targets move. When the tool stops working, the crow must decide again, and delay turns into loss if another bird arrives, or the prey retreats deeper. When thinking reaches its limit, nature keeps another option ready. Here, seeing is not enough. You have to smell. Thousands of crested auklets crowd together on narrow rock ledges. Bodies press close. Shapes repeat. Heads turn and wings shift. But everything looks the same. In this space, sight loses value. Movement blends together, and no single bird stands out for long. During the breeding season, the feathers release a strong scent. It spreads fast through the air, cutting past noise and constant motion. The signal does not need space or light. It reaches nearby birds even when bodies block the view, and sound fills the colony. This method works because smell does not compete with shape or speed. But it carries risk. Once released, the signal cannot be adjusted. If timing is wrong, or the scent is weak, there is no second pass. There is no backup season waiting. Missed signals mean no partner. No partner means no breeding. In a place this crowded, failure does not look dramatic. It simply disappears into the mass. When signals must cut through chaos, some birds choose a louder path, not blending in, but overwhelming everything else with sound. It burns energy just to be seen, and that choice leaves nothing in reserve. The male McQueen's bustard steps into open desert where shade is thin and escape is slow. Every second of display spends strength that cannot be taken back, and stopping early means failure written in full view. The bird lifts its neck and feathers and moves with slow, tight control, turning the body into a single signal. The dance looks calm, but it pulls hard on muscles and breath. Heat presses down. Water is far. If balance slips or pace breaks, the message collapses, and the body shows fatigue before the display ends. Holding posture, raised feathers, and steady motion for long minutes demands endurance in harsh ground and dry air. The longer it continues, the less room there is to recover. Control must stay perfect while the body drains. Any shake, any drop in height turns effort into weakness. Only the strongest can finish. Energy spent becomes proof, because nothing else hides the cost. The system filters without mercy. Most fail quietly, walking away lighter, slower, and exposed to the desert they just challenged. From jumps and dives, from screams and silence, from moves that seem wrong or wasteful, every moment is nature answering pressure with risk, where survival is decided not by comfort, but by what a body is willing to lose. Across open land, dark water, and narrow edges of rock and air, every bird in this journey has shown the same truth. Survival is never gentle, and nothing comes without cost. What we've seen is not beauty for display, but movement under pressure, choices made with no backup, and bodies pushed until control begins to slip. Some birds stayed alive by moving together, others by standing alone. Some trusted speed, others silence, others force or memory. Every call, every dive, every step forward carried risk. When a move worked, it lasted only seconds. When it failed, there was no second try. Thank you for watching BBTV Official and staying with us through these moments where nature does not explain itself, it tests. If these stories made you pause, think, or see the wild a little differently, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts below. Until the next journey, stay curious. And remember, in the wild, nothing survives by chance.